Come, journey with me to explore new worlds and endless possibilities. Hey guys, it's me, Lady Shawn, welcoming you back for another episode of Cover to Cover Chronicles. In this episode, I will be reviewing Tales of Elhaanai by Nicole Thomas, who is an upcoming author. This book takes place in a faraway land, and we start off by meeting Queen Elhaanai Bearclaw, and we also get some glimpse into her husband, who is King Cassian. But we find in the beginning that Elhaanai is pregnant with their first child, and we also find that they are threatened by betrayal. From the very start of the book, we find Elhaanai fleeing for her life and that of her son that she is due to give birth to any day now, and we find that they have been betrayed by King Cassian's own sister, Divana, and that she wishes to take over the throne for herself and for her son, David, and so she plots and overthrows them. And we find that as Elhaanai is fleeing for her life, she is being chased by soldiers who have been sent after her at Divana's orders to kill both her and her unborn baby. But we also find that Elhaanai is possessed of special gifts, and one of those is the ability to transfer herself or others into someone else. So the way that this works is that she comes across a lady as she has been injured, and her baby has been wounded also when she is speared in the back. And we find that she's able to escape those men that are hunting her. And so she comes across another lady who is pregnant and is also due to deliver twins. But we find out that one of those twins has died. And so what Elhaanai does is, with the last of her strength, she is able to remove her son from her womb and place it inside of this new mother, and that she takes the baby that has died in her womb and she plants it into her own. And as she does this, we find out that she passes away also. So the new lady that she transfers her baby into is a scribe, and so Elhaanai gives her a message that she is to give to her son when he reaches the age of 16 that will explain to him who he is and what his gifts are as well. And so we find that once she has taken care of Elhaanai, she leaves the area and she flees in order to keep her baby safe now. And we find that she does give birth to a boy and a girl. After giving birth, the boy is named Alric, who we learn is to be the prince, and her daughter is called Lainey for short. And in the beginning, it is believed that these two are twins, which goes a long way in helping her to disguise Alric from the soldiers that are still being sent out to track him down, especially on his 16th birthday, when Davina finds out that he is still alive and that he did not die with his mom, as was first believed. On the twins' 16th birthday, their mom reveals the message to Alric from his mother that was given on her deathbed, where she lets him know who he is, who her father was, and that he is destined to become the rightful king. And in order to do this, he must set off with his sister and head into the mountains to meet an oracle that will train both of them in the use of their magical gifts, and that he will have to depend on these and others in order to reclaim his throne. In the process of this happening, we find that David has not grown up to be the king that Davina was hoping that he would be. He starts out not caring about the kingdom and pretty much just letting her rule things. So she gets the idea to have an oracle of her own to create this potion that will awaken the dark magic inside of David and hopefully turn him into the king that she wants him to be. And of course, we know when you try to force something, things always go wrong. And so we find that the new David is not quite what his mom was expecting, and that his dark gifts emerge to the point that she and the rest of the kingdom become afraid of him. And so when this happens, we find that she has to try to find a way to undo what she has done. But in the process, David does begin to take over the kingdom. And we find that in their attempts to forge alliances with some of the neighboring areas, we also find a lot of stormy undercurrent that goes on there as well. And so it adds another great element to the book. And we also find that once the twins do reach the mountain where they're supposed to meet the oracle, we begin to find out new things about their powers as well. And we also find that one of the strongest warriors that was sent out to kill the queen in the beginning of the book is sent out again in order to find Alaric and his sister, and that he is given orders by King David that he is to be killed along with the oracle, who we find out is one of the oldest living oracles of the One, who is the God basically for those that are in the light, whereas you have those that worship the darkness. And so that is what happens to King David. So in this story, it's a great heroic story. I love the development of the characters in the story. I especially loved being able to see what's happening with both sides, both the light and the dark. And we also find that this soldier who started out working for the side of dark, once he meets Alaric and Lainey's mother, we find that he begins to change his way of thinking, and that after staying with her for about a month, that he begins to open up to the light, and he begins to realize that what he thought he was doing, that was okay. He begins to actually see and feel guilty for those things that he did in the past, especially killing the queen, but also just the dark thoughts and the thoughts just for himself. So we find that he does end up repenting, and that he does end up changing for the better and going over to the light, and that he also becomes a companion and a helper to Prince Alaric and to his sister. And so we find that just because you've done something wrong, that it's never too late to change and repent and go in a different direction. So I really love that message in this story. This book had 138 pages, and I definitely give it a 4 out of 5. I love the development of the characters in the story. I also love being able to see the two different sides. And I loved how the message of the story up to this point basically is that no matter which side you start on, if you start out making the wrong decisions, but when the time comes and you realize what you've done wrong, that it's never too late to repent and to join the winning team. I love the development of Alaric and his sister Lainey with their gifts, but I also appreciated seeing the soldier that went from being with the darkness and his development in moving to fight for the side of good, especially once he realized that he actually had that choice and that he could change himself if he really wanted to. So I love that part. I also liked how the bad guys in the story kind of started getting what was coming to them, especially when it comes to Davina, who started out thinking that she could make her son into what she wished, but then finding out in the end that it actually backfired on her and that she actually turned him into basically a monster that was beyond her control. And so I kind of liked the fact that she got what she deserved, especially after betraying her brother and sister-in-law for power, just because she wanted her son to rule instead of their son. So I like that she get what comes to her in the story as well. And I also like how the undercurrent between the different alliances, so that those people who you think are going to be on one side actually end up being on another side. So that adds a whole new twist to the story as well. I loved watching the development of the twins' powers, as well as the soldier who started out believing that he didn't have any gifts, but in the end, he was blessed with gifts as well. So I can't wait to see more of how those gifts come in handy, as well as how the twins are able to use their gifts to help Eric take back the throne. I will tell you now that this book does end on a cliffhanger, so we'll have to sit back and wait for book 2 to see what happens to these guys in their next adventure. As always, you can download this book from Amazon, have it delivered to your door. You can have it downloaded on your favorite reading device of your choice. As always, remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified of my upcoming videos. And as always, if you like, drop a comment in the comment section. If there are any authors or a particular book that you would like for me to read and review here on Cover to Cover Chronicles, just let me know, and I will get that added to my review list. The next book that I will be reviewing is called Tales from the Red Sun Village. So I'll see you guys back here for another exciting episode of Cover to Cover Chronicles. See you soon. Bye-bye.